Hey guys, so welcome to another video. And this might be like weird and random and you're like, why am I looking at a white screen with a bunch of dots and this is weird. Let me tell you. So I posted something on the community page on YouTube that basically explained all this, but for the people who haven't seen it, I'll explain it anyways. So there's a bunch of content that I unfortunately ended up losing, which means that there'll be no videos of those, and the content that I lost are episode 4 and 5 of episode 4, 5 and episode 1, so episode 4 and 5 of season 1 of The Walking Dead, and episode 1 of season 2 of The Walking Dead. I also lost episode 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead Michonne, and episode 3 of the Wolf Among Us, which is very unfortunate and very sad. Trust me, I was very upset with myself, with everything, when I found out that I lost it, because, you know, but at least it didn't all go to waste, because at least people who were on my stream managed to see it. But I was very, very sad and upset for you guys, for people who maybe found me later on, or, you know, like to watch my VODs or my edited videos, and so will not be able to see that. It's very sad, and I'm so sorry. But what else can we do? You know what I mean? I'm not a magician. I wish I was. Yeah, I wish I was. Hogwarts witchcraft and wizardry. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I was gonna not do anything and just like upload the next videos, but then I was like, you know what? Maybe there's some people who haven't watched these games, seen these games, played these games. I said watched and seen the same thing, but whatever. And so maybe if they like come across my channel and they enjoy my gameplays and stuff like that, then, you know, and then they like randomly skip to like they go from watching episode 2 and they randomly skip to like season 2 episode 5, they're gonna be a bit confused because maybe they don't know the story as well as other people who've watched multiple gameplays of these games. So I was like, out of the goodness of my heart, why don't I just make a like a recap video on the content that, you know, I have lost, and so people can watch these videos and kind of have a gist of the story and what happened in the episode, blah 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 blah. And obviously my funny commentary to back it up, so why not? But anyway, let's get right into it. So there's going to be visual aid, of course. There's not just going to be my voice this whole time. Also, sorry for my voice. I've been sick these past few days, so yeah, that's why it sounds like that. It sounds like I'm dying, but it's fine. It literally sounds like the air is getting like sucked out of me. It's weird. Anyways, so we start off with this beautiful little girl. Well, she's not a little girl, this beautiful woman named Michonne. She's the centerpiece of the whole you know, game, because it's literally called The Walking Dead Michonne. So of course she's the main character. She's the one. Okay. Now these are her two daughters. There's Colette and Elodie, and they're twins. And they're in different colors. I know twins usually dress the same, but like they're in different colors. So it's kind of like maybe your mind is kind of confuzzled because it's like they're not twins because they're dressed in two completely different colors. But I promise you they're twins, okay? And I think this random guy in the background is the father, so you can look at him if you want, his bald head, who you do what you want to do. So throughout the season, Michonne is racked with guilt because she believes that she kind of abandoned them, quote unquote. And she's completely racked with guilt, and she gets these like visions and these nightmares of her daughter's deaths and all these distressing things. So much so that at the beginning of the episode, she attempts to kill herself. Obviously fails, because if she died in the first 5 seconds, then there would be no game. But you know what I mean. That's how bad it is. That's literally how bad it is. So then after a little while, Michonne gets found by these group of guys, these lovely little wonderful chaps. Going from the right, we got Pete, we got Berto, we've got Sadiq, and we've got Oak. And yeah, she joins their group, and now they're a lovely little group of friends. So these group of guys, they actually also own a boat, or like a ship, called the Companion, as you can see in this picture. It's called the Companion. It's not very useful information, but if you want to know the name of the ship, because usually ships do have names, then that's the name. So, well done. Anyways, So they're on the ship, traveling across the waters like pirates, but not actually like pirates because they don't actually like steal, look for treasure and stuff. They're just on a ship. That's the only pirate thing that the only pirate characteristics that they have is that they're on a ship and that they're in a group. So then Michonne wakes up and hears Pete on the radio trying to contact two people that the group usually trades with, but he can't get into contact with them. And so he's trying to get into contact with them with the radio like he usually does, but there's no response. Then after a while, he hears someone on the radio that is neither of the two traders, um, and it's just like a random person on the radio, but they seem in distress and they seem to be calling for help. When Pete hears this person calling for help, he immediately wants to go and help them. However, Oak doesn't want to because he's very like cautious and doesn't want. He feels like it's a risk to go and try and rescue someone that they don't know, basically. All of a sudden, uh, the ship hits something in the water, um, and gets damaged. Basically, Michonne later finds out that it was a capsized boat that they hit, and while she's looking around to see what else, like to see how the boat got damaged, she also sees a ferry in the distance. She sees this ferry in the distance, which looks pretty creepy. I'm not gonna lie to you. And if I was looking around with my binoculars and I saw this ferry in the distance, I would not go anywhere near it. I would not. I would rather swim all the way to the opposite side of the riverbank, or to the beach, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'd rather do that than go to this creepy ferry. Creepy ass ferry. Never go near that ever in my life. Anyways, they decide to go to it because they believe that they could, scavenge some stuff, which, understandable. Also, they believe they could find some stuff to help fix the boat because the ship. Why do I keep calling it a boat? So then Pete and Michonne decide to go over to this ferry, and the rest of the crew decided to stay back on the ship because they're little scaredy cats. But I would do that too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not going anywhere near that creepy ferry. Anyways, um, little idiots, Michonne and Pete decide it's a-okay to go to this creepy ferry, and they should go just the two of them and look around. So that's exactly what they do. So they eventually reach this godforsaken ferry. So as they're looking around, having a great old time, they find a lot of like dead bodies, just corpses, just scattered around, lying around. Because obviously, why would there not be dead bodies in a creepy ferry? You know what I mean? A creepy abandoned ferry. So they get to this room, and they find this like random bag of supplies just like perched on this table, and they just see like a bunch of like scattered supplies like all around the room, and so like hell yeah, and they just go around and start like looking around. So then suddenly this random boy named Greg jumps out of a locker and jumps Michelle, let's say Michonne, and he just attacks her, and then this random girl appears out of nowhere as well, holding a gun. Her name is Sam, and obviously these two are together, like as in they're a group, like they're, you know what I mean? But they're brother and sister. And so Greg and Sam, hello, welcome. And so basically these two see these two with their bag of supplies, and they're like, we want that bag right now. And Michonne and Pete are like, hey, you got it, man. We weren't trying to steal your stuff. And obviously these two, Greg and Sam, they're very, I mean, you can say Sam or Samantha, whatever you want, but Greg and Sam, they're really like scared, paranoid, so they're like adamant that Michonne and Pete are trying to steal their stuff. So even though Michonne and Pete are like, hey, we're chilling, they're still like, hey, give us our stuff, like blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, because they're on guard. Then all of a sudden, these group of men, or this group with guns, appears, and they're just like, yeah, put your hands up, like, well, who are you? What are you doing here? and all that adding to the fire. Like, come on, you know what I mean? So then we get introduced then to another character, this guy named Randall, and he is the leader of this group of people that have spawned. And Randall actually recognizes Samantha, Sam over here, as Sam and Greg were actually a part of this group of people, and they are actually stealing supplies from this group of people. And so obviously he's like, "Hey, you! I know you, you little thief!" And then they capture Sam and Greg and bring them back to their base. And obviously because Michonne and Pete were there, it's just collateral damage, and they have to come along too. So basically, Randall and his group of people capture Greg, Sam, Michonne, and Pete and bring them back to the base, or the community, whatever you want to call it. I'm also going to introduce you to this beautiful woman named Norma. Norma is the leader of this community of people that Randall is bringing the guys or the four people back to. Um, and actually, Randall and Norma are brother and sister. So it's kind of a sort of like a Norma is the leader of everyone in the community, and then Randall's sort of like the second in command and their family type thing. You know what I mean? But like genuinely, like biologically brother and sister. We also end up finding out that Randall was actually the one responsible for the complete massacre on the ferry. You know, with all the dead bodies and stuff that Michonne and Pete saw when they were exploring it at the start. Randall was the kind of leader. He was kind of like the one in charge, and so obviously all the blame goes on the one in charge because he was the one who gave the orders. And so yeah, his orders resulted in a lot of people dying on that ferry. So now we get introduced to this other character named Zachary, and he's part of the group of people, the community. And he's a very like timid, like nervous guy. He doesn't really want to hurt anyone. Blah blah blah. Randall, Randall, being the bearded little blah that he is, wants Zachary to interrogate the group of people that they captured. There we go. So Pete may or may not be in the room with them, but if he is, he's just like in the corner doing God knows what, and that's why I put him so small and minuscule, a little tiny Pete, a little tiny Pete. Anyways, so Randall wants Zachary to interrogate the group of people, and but Randall's definition of interrogation is torture and being aggressive, blah blah blah. Because Zachary is very timid and doesn't want to hurt people, he's like very reluctant to do that. But like Randall keeps on pushing him, keeps on pushing him, keeps on pushing him, and when you when you pressure someone like that, like Zachary, especially to do something that involves like violence or killing, they kind of do things without thinking. So anyways, Zachary ends up accidentally shooting Greg. Ends up accidentally shooting Greg and killing him, and so Greg is now dead. Greg is now dead, as you can see with the big red X over his picture. You can't even see him anymore. That's how dead he is. So Zachary kills him by shooting him in the chest. And that is the end of the episode. That's how it ends, with Greg dead. So we already have one person dead by the end of episode 1, which is crazy. Michonne, and he killed herself at the start of the episode. But yeah, that's the end of episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed my version of the recap of episode 1 of The Walking Dead and Walking Dead Michonne. Obviously there's like a lot of bits I cut out. I just included the main bits of the episode, because obviously if I had to literally retell the whole episode bit by bit, detail by detail, it would take ages. So which is fine, it's doable. I'm just saying, because that isn't the point of the video. The whole point of the video is just to recap the main bits so that you don't feel lost when you watch the other videos. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I actually had a lot of fun doing this, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye. I don't know why my voice went so deep right there. Bye. Bye. Whatever, bye.